Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another live stream Saturday, and it's the first one of the new month. So, things are moving along very quickly, as they always tend to do nowadays. We're already into February, the first Saturday of... I'm just checking in my mind that is right. We have had the live stream on Tuesday, which technically in the UK was the first of the month. So I'm just checking that. Saying that this is the first one of the month, I'll just say the first Saturday. That's technically correct. But anyway, hello guys. Thank you for joining me tonight. Let's see who's in the live chat room. And we have Bonnie, Celeste, and it's going through too quickly. Robert going through, Carl, Vince in there as well, Susan, Dennis, Teresa, Anna, Fallion, did that say? I'm not sure. It went too quickly. But Laurie in there as well. Nora and Terry at the bottom there. Desert Deluge and Barbara. Hello, guys. Thank you for joining me. And I think at the beginning of the live stream, it's always going to be the case that the names go through really quickly. But sometimes I catch you guys when you're a little bit otherwise engaged and maybe not typing as much, whereas that was a very fast... I was going to say roulette of names. We're going to be having that later on. But just a very fast-moving list of names. So, mentioning the pick roulette, let's get that up on screen to see what we're aiming for tonight. With the likes goal, 360. So, if you could leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be fantastic. We will be having a pick roulette later on because we hit the target last week. So if we hit the target tonight, then we will have a pick roulette next week. That's how it works, as regular viewers will know and understand how it all works. But if this is your first live stream, say hello, introduce yourself into the live chat room. That's how these live streams work. We just all get to know each other and get used to each other's usernames, and eventually, they get on that pick roulette wheel and people go away with a signed pick, sometimes a custom-made Wings of Pegasus t-shirt if we land on the t-shirt roulette. So we'll be having that a little bit later on. Let's get the lycometer up on screen because I didn't do that till quite a long time into the last live stream, if I remember correctly. And we are at 207 already, so that's a really good start. That means that we're over halfway. My maths is good enough at least to be able to say that. As for how many we need, what's that, 149, 51? Okay, it's a little bit early in the live stream for my brain to be able to work it out. 210 would be 150, so that's now 149. So maybe I kind of said the right answer for the future there, so... 149 is what we're looking for. Extra likes before the end of the live stream, but we have a long time to go. We've got over an hour of the live stream, and the people that make this possible in the first place, their names go across the bottom of the screen during the live streams on a Tuesday and a Saturday, of course, 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time, but these people's names that you're about to see, they make it all possible. So a massive shout out to you guys. Thank you for all of your support and just being the foundation of everything that I do and allowing me to make everything that I do on the channel, those cover videos and the analysis videos that we go through, the interviews, all that kind of stuff. By the way, quick update. We had collectively on the channel, Phil Palmer in the house, and that was on, last night, Friday night, but I am editing that video together. I tried to do as much as I could last night after speaking to Phil, and I've done some more editing today. I think it's going to have to be one of those that I cut into maybe 2 parts because I think I've done 20 minutes worth of editing so far. We were talking for about an hour and a half, so it's just a case of cutting it down as much as I can to probably at least one 20-minute video, if not 2 20-minute videos, but I'll try and get it down to as few minutes as possible. But obviously, we were talking about a lot because we were looking at the performance that Phil was, part of, but obviously we're both looking at it together. He was pointing out a few things and just talking about the day and, Mark Knopfler being there at the side of the stage as well, and Eric when he broke his string, and how Phil then approached suddenly being thrown into the spotlight at the front of the stage to then take a solo section that he wouldn't normally play. And he knew that Eric had broken a string, but he didn't realise that Eric was going to say, take this, Phil, and then just leave him in front of 150,000 people, something like that, something crazy like that. So yeah, that's going to be edited together. As to when it's going to be finished, I'm not sure. I'm going to spend as much of the day as I can tomorrow editing it together, and I usually release the videos at 8 p.m. so I might kind of just get up early and see if I can finish off the video for tomorrow to release at 8 p.m. maybe, fingers crossed. If I don't have any issues with it, that might happen. But then if I can cut it into two and do a part one and a part two, then obviously it means that I'll have less to do tomorrow, so it makes it more likely that I will be able to release it. So yes, that all happened last night, just getting that all together. And that's the thing, that if you want to get notified for all of the videos, including the live streams and those more kind of interview-based videos as well, make sure that you are subscribed, hit that notification bell, tick the box for, getting notified and all the information to do with the channel so that you do get notified for all of the videos that we do. The live streams as well, the analysis videos, you will then get a notification. So make sure you do that. Right, so yeah, very busy on the channel. And I mentioned last time actually about Shirley Lewis contacting me and us potentially doing a video in the future. And that's Shirley, by the way, was a backing singer for George Michael and worked with him in the studio as well. And will probably have a look at a song that Shirley sang. There's a couple that are in the running, but I think maybe Father Figure that we'll look at, where Shirley can give her insight as to how they recorded it in the studio, because it is just Shirley's voice and George's voice. So that'll be a good one for the future. And yeah, we've got actually a few things in the pipeline, because I did receive an email from Uli John Roth, which a lot of people will know. Actually, I did a video on Uli like literally years ago, but I mean, he contacted me about possibly doing something together. So yeah, things in the pipeline for the future. And I mean, keeping things organized is always a bit of a mission, but we do get there in the end, hopefully, fingers crossed. But I think thankfully, with the situation last year and the whole illness situation, I think actually I'm pretty much over that. I feel like maybe 95%. I very occasionally get this kind of dry throat feeling, and I don't cough very much anymore. I mean, I never used to cough before I had the COVID thing, but then, I mean, I rarely cough now, so I think it's pretty much out of my system. Only, once in a blue moon I'll cough, and then I think, oh, I don't usually cough, but I think it's just, that final 5% that I'm working my way through. But once that's all done, once that's out of the way, then, yeah, we will just be going full steam ahead, as we always do on the channel, see what happens. And these kinds of things that pop up with, getting in contact with Phil again, and the fact that he was in that George Michael video, and Shirley was in that video as well, and her getting in contact with me, and Uli getting in contact with me as well. These kinds of things just happen, and we roll with it. If we can do something on the channel, just to mix it up a little bit, I think it's always great to get the insight of the performers, artists that we do look at, to get a bit of an appreciation as to how they approached it. And it'll be cool to do something with Shirley, because I don't think we've done a joint vocal analysis yet with anybody. It's just been a joint guitar analysis, as was with Phil. We had Steve Stevens on the channel as well, where we had the guitars out. So yeah, we've mostly been talking about that kind of thing. We had Frank Marino on as well, and that was kind of quite a while back, before he then is going through his health issues, unfortunately, at the moment, which has limited his playing. But yeah, it'll be the first one that we've done on that vocal. It'll be great to attack it from that kind of angle, because I always see myself as a guitarist and then somebody who's learnt to sing through necessity. And it'd be great to get the input of a singer on a record, especially, you know, some of the records that George did were just hugely popular across the world. So yeah, it'd be great to break that down with you guys, of course. And let me mention that we have passed, and I remembered this, sometimes we do have a reminder from Paul or Orlando in the donations window, and let me just bring that up on screen. I always say that you don't have to donate, but, you know, some people can't resist and do donate, and thank you guys for that, but you don't have to. Just watching and maybe hitting that thumbs up, that would be great. That's all that is required of you for these live streams and just the channel in general. But if you do want to know the percentage splits, between 35 and 45% goes to YouTube through the super chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal. And there's a PayPal link in the description below, just in case you can't stop yourselves from donating, but you don't have to. But anyway, going back to what I was about to say, we have hit 289,000 subscribers, and I think that's correct. So we get that up on screen, and it is. It's the confirmation, and it's a crazy number. What I have done for tonight's live stream is turn down ever so slightly the people that are cheering and going crazy in the background, because I think they've been a bit loud in the past, so you might not have been able to hear what I was saying, but it's just celebration noise really, so it doesn't really matter too much. But I'll probably watch this back in the future, a part of the catch-up crew, myself, tonight, to see what the levels are like, because I don't really get a chance to adjust them. I only can adjust levels once I'm watching the live stream back in the future. And of course, especially for the fill jam, that doesn't really help me very much because it's already happened. So thank you everyone for subscribing and getting us to this crazy number of 289,000. So we are closing in on 300,000, but yeah, still quite a ways off yet. Right, moving forward with tonight's live stream, what do we have? We have the vote going off at the top of the live chat room. That's for tonight's cover video. That is between Behind Blue Eyes and You Know My Name. And You Know My Name has rolled over from the last live stream. So it's between those two. Have your say. It looks like Behind Blue Eyes is quite a lot in the lead at 62% of the vote so far. So if you're wanting to hear that, just increase that lead, or if you want to hear You Know My Name, then obviously vote for that one. That'll be at the top of the live chat room. Big shout out to the moderators as well for not only tonight but all of the live streams. You'll see their names go through the live chat room in blue, and right on cue there's Carla going through there, the name, and I think Susan and Dennis going through there as well. And that was Neil. That was perfectly timed. We didn't plan that. But I just wanted to say a huge thank you to the moderators for doing such a great job. And Laurie as well, of course. So yes, the 3 of the 4 moderators going through. As I said that, their names are in blue and they have a wrench next to their names as well. Just to mention something that Carla mentioned to me earlier on about the emoticons and putting too many emoticons in any comment. So whether that's you just doing a normal comment or whether that being entering the pick roulette later on in the live stream, try to make sure that you don't use lots of emoticons, because YouTube sometimes, I think actually all the time, if you use too many of them, it flags it as either spam or one of those comments that, you know, has to be looked at later on, and it just keeps it in a list so it doesn't actually appear. And that's sometimes the reason why when people say, oh, why isn't my comment showing up, is because there are too many pictures on it and it's just getting, you know, put at the side by YouTube. And sometimes when you put lots of emoticons, it makes the chat go through really quickly, and it means that some people's comments just don't ever appear on the screen because it's too fast. So yeah, if you can limit your emoticons, that would be much appreciated. And I think, yeah, the moderators, it will help with them doing their job as well, so they can keep a track of the comments and they're not moving so quickly, because you know, with the amount of people that are checking out the channel now and the live streams, which is great that we're getting more people involved on a Tuesday and a Saturday. Obviously, with more people come more comments, and with more comments, it means that even with 3 people looking at the comments, if they're going really quickly, it's very difficult to keep a handle on what's going on. So yeah, that's just a quick note to mention from the moderators. So anyway, back to tonight's live stream. We're also going to be having, I think, just one picture tonight, and that's going to be happening before the pick roulette, of course. And I do reference every single donation that comes in. So I'm just making sure that this light at the top here, I've got a couple of lights that I have that, as you can see, they do light the room very well when the camera decides it wants to show the room as it is. Whereas sometimes the camera goes dark and makes it kind of high contrast and shows the room being a lot darker than it is. But this is how the room is normally. But the light just made a noise, and I'm wondering whether it made a noise because I didn't put it in its tripod position. It's actually like a clamp that is holding it, and the reason that I've done that is that it takes up less space. The only thing with it is that if it slides forward out of the clamp, there's going to be an almighty crash bang wallop. So, and I'll lose the lighting from that side of the screen. So we will see. It just made a noise. Fingers crossed it's going to be able to last for just under an hour to the end of the live stream. We will see. This is the thing about being live. Anything can happen, and it usually does. It just reminds me of a quote that came from Murray Walker. He's a commentator here, or was a commentator here in the UK for F1, Formula 1, the racing. And he said, in Formula 1, anything can happen. And it very nearly did. That's just, he came up with these really weird quotes that when you analyse them, they don't really make any sense. But that was the thing about Murray Walker. He was just a great personality and just said really funny things when he was commentating. So anyway, yeah, anything can happen on the live streams, and we'll see if it does later on. But everything seems to be okay at the moment, fingers crossed. As for everything that I've set up on screen, I think we're pretty much there with what we usually have. I always feel like I've forgotten something, but it seems like we are okay. And a quick plug of those thumbs up. I can see that we are approaching 291 likes, so we're looking for 9 more to get us to 300, which then means working out the maths to get to 360 is going to be very easy for me. Whereas, I mean, technically, it's going to be 69 are we looking for? I feel like my brain isn't in that mode for doing calculations. Sometimes it just throws up a number, and that number is the right number for whatever we need. Whereas, yeah, tonight for some reason, I mean, yeah, so 65 is what we're looking for. I can work that out to get to the Pick Roulette likes goal. So we will keep on. I can see that we're getting a little bit of a spike up to 300. There we go. So thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. It now means I know we need 60 more people to get involved in that live chat room before the end of the live stream. But jumping into the donations that came in before we went live, which don't disappear now. So double thumbs up from me. Orlando donated $2. So thank you for that, Orlando. And the message was, it's time to spike those likes. To you, Paul. That's to you, Paul, is in brackets with a thumbs up. So thank you for that, Orlando. And let's have a quick plug of the mug. And there we have it. Let's see how they get on. So if you want to get your hands on any of the merchandise, click on the tray underneath this video or click on the link in the description below to be taken through to spring.com, where you'll find all of the cool stuff, the t-shirt, the hoodie, there's a zipped hoodie, there's another hoodie that you just, I don't know what you call those, a not zipped hoodie, and obviously the mugs, tumblers, caps as well. So yeah, there's a lot of merchandise kicking off at spring.com. It feels like maybe soon we need some kind of new merchandise, and I don't know what that's going to be. I mean, there are a few things that have been. I mean, maybe we can make it a bit kind of live stream orientated, because I know that some people wanted to have a mug with the Phil Toon character on there, and that's not something that I've pursued, but it feels like we do need some kind of edition of merchandise, because we haven't had anything new in a while. Even though there's a lot of merchandise on there, it's always good to put something in to that merchandise stall that is going to be new, especially if it's going to be a Phil Toon orientated thing. I mean, we did have the Christmas ornaments, the Christmas tree decoration that Carla made up, and we had those that we were showing pictures of on the live streams as well. But we will see. It feels like, maybe we can do something in the near future. Obviously, I've got to have the time to organise it and do it through spring.com, but I think it might be possible. Maybe we can start the year with something new, and maybe a new mug that I can show on the live streams, because I mean, these ones, we have one that we show on a Tuesday, which actually I do have here to hand. There it is. That's the live stream Tuesday mug, but I usually get the black and white one for the Saturday, because it doesn't say live stream Tuesday on it. But anyway, we'll maybe dive into a little bit of merchandise as something we can do in the near future. Right, we are going to just jump back into the super chat window, because there's a donation from Paul for $2. Thank you for that, Paul. Of course, after Orlando, and the message is what Orlando said. Also, 289k. Hooray! OSK, that's Orlando's sidekick. So, thank you for that, Paul. 289,000. Amazing. Thank you guys for subscribing and getting involved on the channel. Orlando donated $5 again. Thank you for that. The message is, what makes a song so special? You need to make a cover of it. I am just curious. So thank you for that. I mean, the cover videos that I've done in the past pretty much all got suggested or requested on Patreon. So that was my patrons, very early on back in the day, like I've mentioned before on these live streams, that I used to do just one video a month, just a cover video. So I had a lot of time to stick that together and figure out what all the instruments are playing, and then put that all together myself and do the vocals, backing vocals. Obviously it takes a lot longer to kind of play all of the instruments and put that all together, but that's just how I like to do it. And I was doing a riff of the week on Sundays as well. I think I mentioned that in the last live stream. But in terms of making a song special, I think it's just something that if a song gets suggested that I like myself, I don't think there's any point in doing a cover of a song that you don't like, because then you won't really be able to put your energy into it, especially when you're breaking it down to every single instrument. Then it's quite a long time that you're going to spend playing that song, so you have to like it in the first place. So I think all of the cover songs that I have done, I do like personally, and that's a huge part of it, that once something gets suggested that I like, I think let's dive into that and do a cover video of it. So that's the only kind of special side to it that I needed to have in order to do the cover videos. But thank you for that, Orlando. David donated $5 as well. Thank you for that, David. The message is, hi Phil and Wingers, do you have a favourite guitar that you gig with? So thank you for that, David. And that will be the guitar on my right, or over my right shoulder on the left hand side of your screens. That's my Ibanez Geo that I spent many years gigging with. I first started with my Fender Strat, and the Fender Strat is actually in the studio. It's not in this particular room, but that's the guitar that I started out with. Then I customized it in order to have the humbucker sound, getting kind of a little bit more aggressive for the hard music that I play, and the hard rock music, it's kind of got that harder edge to it. So for the harder, kind of heavier genres, you generally will want a little bit more attitude from your guitar. So that's why I updated that with a Seymour Duncan pickup that is the dual blade, twin blade pickup. So it means that it just fits in the single coil position, which is great. In order to not have to break apart your Fender Strat, you can just stick that in the bridge position, which I did, and that just gave me access to that heavier sound when I wanted it. But then when I was teaching at a shop, and if somebody cancelled their lesson at late notice, it meant that I could just go into the shop and plug in guitars and just mess around, and had use of lots of different makes of guitars and models. And even though, I mean, the Geo, I started playing that, and there were obviously other models of guitars that were, a lot more expensive, like the RG series guitars that were hanging up there, and I played around with those. But for some reason, this particular Geo just matched my, hand size, my genetics. I like the feel of it. And, the rosewood neck just seemed to work well with me as well. I like the sound. I like the tone that I got from the stock pickups in, not only that bridge position, you might be able to see that it has got the single coil in the middle, and it's got, 2 humbuckers for the bridge and then the neck pickup. So, you get a lot heavier sound, but that pickup in that middle position, I liked it for the clean tone. So it kind of got rid of, it kind of had everything that I wanted for my live performances, going to a heavier sound. And, to be fair, the neck pickup sounded really nice as well. So yeah, even though people that don't know about guitars, the Geo, this model is, I would say, almost, it's not quite entry level, but it's pretty much entry level in terms of the cost. So I think it was maybe £320. I don't know what that is in dollars, maybe $400, something like that. So it's not really expensive. And when you're talking about, the other, RG series guitars, even other brands, you can be talking of, 400, 500, 600, 700. Because I was in a guitar shop, or just a music shop that sold guitars, there were, some top-end guitars in there that, you might have a play on. They might be 600, 700, 800, maybe even more than that. So I did have access to all of those, and I was very lucky that, I could get them down from the wall, have a play with them. But the Geo is the one that just suited me and just suited my physiology. And it's something that I always say, that if you are looking to buy a guitar, try them out. Get your fingers on the fretboard, because there might be a guitar that could be worth £800 or £900, but then you play one that's £300 and it suits you better than the other guitars. So yeah, always get your fingers on the fretboard if you can do. But yeah, if I was calculating how many gigs I've played with my Fender Strat and then how many I've played with the Geo, I'm pretty sure the Geo would win because... when did I get the Geo? That's a good question to myself. I don't know. Maybe when I'm starting to question myself now how many gigs I actually did with the Fender Strat, because I think I got that when I was 25 maybe. I can't remember now. So anyway, I started teaching when I was around 22, 23. So that would have been 22, 23, 24, 25. 3 years worth of gigging with the Fender Strat. And yeah, it must have been the Geo. Then I switched. So from 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So yeah, 33, 34. Yeah. So yeah, the Ibanez Geo, definitely. I questioned myself because I just didn't realise how early on I actually got the Geo. So yeah, many years worth of gigs have been played with that. And yeah, it never let me down, always gave me what I wanted live. So anyway, thank you for that, David. And a long answer to that particular question. Moving on to Torlo Porca has donated $5. Thank you for that. The message is a big welcome to Phil Palmer to the live stream. So thank you for that. And I don't know if Phil is in that live chat room. Maybe he's just popping in for a second, but if Phil's in there, if Phil can be spotted, it is sometimes difficult to see the names that go through very quickly. But a big hello to Phil, and I'm sure you guys in that live chat room can say a big hello to Phil as well if he is in that live chat room. We have such a great community feel to the live streams, so a big shout out again to the moderators for maintaining that throughout and just making it such a great place to be, and for you guys for tuning in and making it a great place to be as well. So yes, a huge hello to Phil in that live chat room. And I do notice now and again that we have Taj Farrant who pops in now and again to see what's going on. So yeah, Taj is a massively talented young guitarist. I always say check him out if you guys do get a chance. So I think Taj is either in the process of, or maybe he has already set the dates for getting over to the USA and doing a tour over there, you know, hitting some venues over there. And what I'll do is I'll have a little look out and see what Taj is up to when that particular tour starts. But if you guys are around maybe in London, in Camden, then Phil has his, you know, he actually has an evening with first. I know that I have mentioned this previously on another video, and we do mention it in the video that's going to be coming up tomorrow night if I can edit it together in time. But yes, Phil has his evening with. That's going to be at Camden. It's going to be relatively soon. It might be next week, so make sure that you check out his website, philpalmer.com, in order to book a ticket for that if you are going to be in the area at any point. But he also has a book signing that's going to be coming up soon as well, and that'll all be on his website. So if you do get a chance, head over to philpalmer.com. But let's get back into tonight's live stream and those donations. So 27 Sparkle has donated $4.99. So thank you for that. And the message is just thank you. So no problem. Thank you for that donation. Nalita has donated $10 as well. Thank you for that, Nalita. And the message is, other than the length of the songs, what do you think makes the newer music better than the classics, or the classics better than the newer music? Or do you think it's evenly matched? So thank you for that. And this is all obviously all subjective, and depends what music you're into and even what decade you're into. There might be a particular decade that you just loved the music that happened at that particular point, because it just tends to work that way, that in particular decades, you get particular genres that were at the forefront. And, you know, that's just been the case for, I was going to say, for most decades, but I think more recently, I'd say maybe even over the, last 20 years? I know that R&B and rap have been at the forefront of the mainstream music industry for quite an extended period of time. Whereas before, like taking the music that I was really into, kind of in the 80s, the bands. I mean, I started appreciating kind of hard rock music probably in the early 90s when it had already happened. But in the 80s, you had that whole, you know, hard rock movement and the metal and the big hair. And, you know, that kind of, it was almost tongue-in-cheek approach, but some great songs and great music that was, you know, created in the 80s. So yeah, I was very much into and am into that hard rock sound of the 80s, and especially melodic hard rock. That's something that really makes me kind of appreciate the music that's going on, because it had guitar solos in there as well. And generally in the background, you had some really, you know, hooky lines that were going on, guitar riffs that were really up front, guitar solos that were just great solos, and, you know, really well played technically but melodic at the same time. So yeah, the 80s is kind of a decade that I really like the music that happened during it, even the soundtracks to the movies. I mentioned this in other live streams as well. But anyway, so I had the 80s, but then getting into the 90s, early 90s, then grunge happened, and things started to turn away from the 80s sound, and even the 80s look. It now became a lot more serious, and the lyrical content got darker and started to address kind of deeper issues. So with all of that, you know, Nirvana, especially here in the UK, and I'm sure over in the USA, were, I think, a turning point in the sound. So you had the 80s, and then going into the 90s started to change. And then from the 90s getting into the noughties, it then started to change again into, the R&B. And even in the late 90s, kind of getting into rap. So you had that change, but like I said, now consistently over the last kind of 20 years, we've had that same, I would say, the same kind of musical landscape in terms of the mainstream charts. It all tends to be much of a sameness, and you have to pretty much go to a more kind of indie sound. Independent, obviously, is what indie is really referring to, having that independent sound, something that's outside of the mainstream music industry, in order to hear something that might be a little bit different. So I think the newer music relies more on technology, because there are a lot of songs that are in the mainstream charts that are auto-tuned, pitch corrected, and that's just the sound of it. In order to sound modern, I think artists now have to use auto-tune, have to use pitch correction, because otherwise it will sound, like it's from decades earlier, which is, unfortunately, if you like that sound of hearing a real voice, then you won't be able to connect to a lot of the new music, because it all is run through that process of auto-tune or pitch correction before you hear it, rather than just hearing the voice, unadulterated voice that is human. You have to hear it through a processor first, and a processing that actually affects the pitch of it, and obviously it means that it's not going to be as was projected and performed into the microphone at the time. It's now hearing it through something that's edited what was actually sung. So unfortunately it's totally different, but it depends what you're into. I think that the songs back in the 60s especially, they were only sometimes 2 or 3 minutes in length. I say sometimes, most of the time they were 2 or 3 minutes in length, but they still had everything that you would get in a 5 or 6 minute song. You'd have an intro, you'd have a verse, you'd have a chorus, you'd have a middle eight, or a bridge, if you want to refer to it as a bridge. It's just the same thing. And then you might even have a solo in there, a little guitar solo. The Beatles always had, not always, but they tended to have little sections that were a mini guitar solo in there, and it is usually really hooky and melodic, and then they get back into the chorus before the end of the song. But then again, saying that, it was really hard to tell what was a chorus in a Beatles song, because they kind of chopped and changed, and you think, we're going into the middle eight now. But then you'd have a chorus, and then there'd be like another, what you thought was a middle eight. So they totally chopped and changed, and this is all in the space of 2 to 3 minutes. So, I really like that approach to writing songs, having so much in there that it was great, and it was a really colourful journey with lots of sights along the way, but you have to go on that journey again to see everything again, to almost take it in. So because it's such a short space of time and there was so much in there, that's what I love about 60s music, is because they really crammed it in to such a small space of time, where I think sometimes nowadays you can have a 5 or 6 minute song, and I don't know, about 2 or 3 minutes into it, you've kind of got the vibe, and it doesn't really go anywhere else, and you've already seen all the sights. So that's why I think I've got a tendency to listen to, and probably to write songs that are only 3 minutes in length, 4 minutes in length, because I like to just go on a journey that is an interesting journey, and hopefully people find it interesting, but not to the point where people are now starting to think, this is dragging on, and I've lost interest in this song because it's just the same thing all the time. So that's just what I tend to be into myself personally, but like I said, it's all subjective. But thank you for that, Nalita. Right, and I can see that we have hit the likes goal. Carla's about to go through the live chat room saying goal, so thank you for getting my attention. And we're going to wait till after tonight's pick roulette before I open the entries for next week's pick roulette. So don't do anything yet. We have to wait until we're into that. But having said that, it is 1:45 here in the UK. So we will be jumping into, first of all, the cover video for tonight, but then the pick roulette as well, and we have that picture that we're going to be looking at that has been sent in. So before we do that, actually, we have had some donations in the PayPal window, so thank you guys for those. Just to get through them, we had one from Chuck, and this was for £2, so thank you for that, Chuck, and that was at 10:59 on Thursday evening, so thank you for that. Teresa donated £10 and 6p and says thanks for the quality content, so thank you, Teresa, for that donation. And that was at 56 minutes past 2 on Friday, and that's just yesterday. Nicole donated £10 and 18p. Thank you for that, Nicole. The message is, hi Phil, participate in these weekly donations. Have a good weekend, Phil. Not too cold, Let's keep the stars in our eyes. Tenderness, take care. So thank you for that, Nicole. And yeah, it's not too cold at the moment. Things are starting to warm up a little bit. I think maybe around 6 to 8 degrees. I'm going to say that just as a guesstimation as to what it was when I went outside earlier on. So it kind of felt a bit cold, but not too cold, not near freezing or below freezing as it was before. So thank you as well to Michelle, who has donated £2 and 1 pence. Thank you for that. And that's at 2:32 this afternoon. The message is, catch up crew member here. Birthday celebrations, 5th of Feb. Thanks for another great year of insightful analysis, music and fun. Phil, keep on rocking. So thank you for that, Michelle. And hello, if you're indeed watching this on Catch Up, and anybody else that is watching this on Catch Up, you can still hit that thumbs up. It really does help the channel to get out there, to grow a little bit more, and for this live stream to get out there a little bit more as well. Right. Let me see. Oh, and happy birthday to Michelle for the 5th of Feb, which technically is today here in the UK. So because it is 47 minutes past midnight, so we are already into Sunday. So have a great day today, Michelle, or have a great day tomorrow if it's still yesterday or Saturday where you are. But yeah, if you're watching this in the future, maybe it's your birthday already, in which case have a great day. If it isn't yet, have a great day tomorrow. And because Michelle will be watching this in the future, everyone in that live chat room can say a big happy birthday to Michelle. Right. Let's jump into the next one. Melinda donated £50, so thank you for that, Melinda. And the message is, hi Phil, this is my Tumblr's donation. Please continue to do what you do. So thank you for that. And I will indeed just keep on pushing forward, as we always do on the channel. Just see what happens. And yes, thank you guys who, those of you who did order those tumblers, the glow-in-the-dark custom-made tumblers that Carla put together, and a great option for keeping your drink hot or cold. And this was particularly good because it glows in the dark, so it means that if you are watching a movie and you turn the lights down, you can still see where your drink is, rather than reaching for it and knocking it over. I mean, that's something that I'm always really careful of doing myself, and I think I've got quite a good record of never spilling any. Saying this, I've got to touch wood. Saying this, I'm probably going to spill something like tonight or tomorrow, having said that. But I can't remember the last time that I did spill something. The only thing I can remember the last time something was spilt was my mum. I had a massive mug of tea, and I can't remember where it was. But it was something like sitting on even the armrest of a chair, and she walked past it and caught the handle of it. And when I say it was a big mug of tea, it was a huge mug of tea. I intentionally did. For some reason, I fancied a really big mug of tea. So I made a big mug of tea in what was a Lord of the Rings prancing pony jug. So it's probably about this big. So a lot of tea. And that's the mug that my mum decided to, or jug, to knock onto the floor. When it hit the floor in such a way that the drink went all over the sofa that I had in my bedroom at the time, and it was a new sofa as well, and it was like a light cream colour, so fantastic for spilling tea on. And the other thing was, it actually hit the ceiling of my bedroom, so the angle that it hit the ground launched it up, so I had at least a spot or two on the ceiling. So as you can imagine, with a big mug of tea, it went absolutely everywhere. But because we then just went into emergency recovery mode, we made sure that we patted it down. I also had a cream coloured carpet, so yeah, we got out the Vanish spray that we have here, and I think the sofa that I had actually has this cover on it that you have to pay a bit extra for, but they always say it's great if you spill anything on it because it's almost like the liquid rolls off it. And obviously it was stained a bit, but yeah, somehow my mum and I managed to clean the sofa, so now you can't see that it did have tea all down the side. And when I say all down the side of it, it almost covered one side of the sofa. So anyway, let's move on from, I don't know what brought that on, but Oh, spilling things. Yeah, tumblers and glowing in the dark. But anyway, thank you for that, Melinda. Got a bit of sidetracked there. Had a bit of a flashback. Tammy donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Tammy. The message is, hi, Phil. Who, in your opinion, is the greatest musician in history? Okay, right. Again, this is something that we could discuss. Again, subjective. Could discuss for years. So I've been asked about, the greatest guitarist. I always mentioned about Jimi Hendrix, doing things that no other guitarist had done, his control, some of the things that he did that just made, every single performance that he did unique and impossible to copy because of that element of feedback all the time, having control. But in terms of the greatest musician in history, I mean, we're throwing everyone into the mix now, so... guitarists, multi-instrumentalists, I tend to just throw in musicians as, men and women who are great at singing as well, just kind of the full package. So once we start throwing those into the mix, then, we start to really blow things up. I would say, the first thing that jumps to my mind when we're talking about musician, guys like Glenn Campbell, country musicians who have that ability to sing, especially Glenn Campbell, at a super high level, but have the kind of instrumental ability that you associate with guys that only play the instrument and they don't sing. So... Roy Clark, I'll throw him in there as well for the multi-instrumental ability of, playing fiddle, depending on kind of how you refer to it, if we're talking about country music. But, playing guitar as well. Being able to sing, Roy could sing. And, Roy pretty much played anything that had strings on it, a banjo as well. So... and he played it all to a really high level, so you can throw that into the mix. But then when you're talking about more mainstream artists, I would say that actually Roy wasn't really considered, as that mainstream artist because of the way that he did play, and did a lot of it tongue in cheek, but it was just of an exceptional standard, and that's maybe what threw people off. But getting into more the mainstream, I'd say that Prince has got to be up there as someone who was a multi-instrumentalist, provided the vocal, his vocal was unique, and had the instrumental ability to play, to that high level that a lot of players only get to when they just play the instrument and then don't sing. So, or don't even play other instruments. So again, you've got to throw Prince in there. Yeah, it's really difficult. I mean, those are just some of the people that you spring to mind, but there'll be loads, more that I could think of kind of in the confines of a live stream and being able to answer a question relatively quickly. But thank you for that, Tammy. And Billy donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Billy. And the message is, hey, Phil, our friend and fellow winger Karen could use some good cheer to start February on a high note. So I ask wingers in the chat to send up prayers for and lots of love to Karen. Thank you so much. So thank you for that, Billy. And yes, all of our wishes in Karen's direction, just to kind of, get well soon and for everything to perk up for you, Karen. I'm sure everybody wishes the same for you in that live chat room. So yes, everybody in that live chat room, just send your best wishes to Karen. We've seen Karen and Chipper, of course, on the channel together with some of the pictures. But I hope everything works itself out for you, Karen, very soon. And thank you, Billy, for that donation. Joan has donated £100. So thank you, Joan, for that very kind donation. The message is, congratulations on 289,000 subscribers. Looking forward to your chat with Phil Palmer. So thank you for that, Joan. And yes, I will endeavour to edit that together tomorrow. Even if I have to get up earlier to get it out by 8 p.m, I will try and do that tomorrow. So I'm probably thinking about it now, going to be cutting it into a part 1 and a part 2, just because I know how much more footage I've got to get through, and the fact that I think it's probably going to be about 40 minutes in length, so maybe 2 20-minute videos, something like that. But I'll endeavour to get the first one of those out for tomorrow night. Thank you for that, Joan. Right, and just moving on, Ed has donated £19.56. Thank you for that, Ed, and that is a straight up donation. Karen has donated £10 as well, another straight up donation. Thank you for that, Karen. Jill has donated £28.90. Thank you for that, Jill. And that's a message included with this one. We have this message. Good to see you, Phil, celebrating your 289 subscribers. Rock on! So thank you for that. And yes, 289,000. So, wow, that would be 289 times 100,000 is 289,000, I think. Was it? Oh, I'm going to confuse myself with the maths. Anyway, thank you for that, Jill. I know what you meant. 289,000 rather than the 289. But at some point, I did have 289 subscribers. Probably, I don't know, maybe in 2013 or 14 or something like that. So, and yeah, over the last 4 or 5 years, things have really taken off. So it might even be more recent than that. So thank you for that, Jill. And Sue has donated £15 as well. Thank you for that, Sue. That is a straight up donation. And Marge has donated £2.35. Thank you for that. The message is, would be fun to have a mug with cartoon and guff. With a smiling face. So thank you for that. Yeah, this is the thing, that if I'm going to put something on a mug, I've got to make sure that what it says on the mug has to be, maybe it can be a quote from a Phil Toon rather than just writing guff. Because maybe people watching you drink out of a mug that's just got that written on, that they won't really understand what's going on, or it just won't make any sense. But thank you for that. Karen donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Karen. It is a straight up donation. Let me just get this on screen as well so that we can see, because we're a little more recent now. And this was just from, maybe 10 minutes ago. So thank you for that, Karen. And then Barbara has donated £7.83. So thank you for that. And the message is, hello, Phil. It is my birthday today, Feb 4th. So glad we are having a live stream on my day. So congratulations to you, Barbara. I hope you have a fantastic day. And technically, it was your birthday yesterday, but I'm in the UK, so I'm sure it definitely is your birthday where you are. So again, a huge happy birthday to Barbara. Everybody can wish that in Barbara's direction. And I hope, you have a fantastic day. Right. We still have a few more. Kim has donated £10. Thank you for that, Kim. And the message is, hi Phil, what are 2 foods you cannot stand and 2 you absolutely adore? Cheers from Canada, Kim. Okay, right, it's almost 1 a.m. We haven't even got into the cover yet. Quick answer to this. 2 foods that I cannot stand. Anything really spicy, I don't like that. So that's got to be 1. And obviously I could name 2 foods that are really spicy, but I generally still eat those kinds of foods, but just a non-spicy version. So yeah, anything really spicy, anything that I don't like, and Brussels sprouts, I don't like those, even though at this Christmas, I did eat them. I had maybe 3 or 4 of them for the health benefit. I forced myself to eat them. So yeah, those are 2. And 2 I absolutely adore. Let me think, what do I have every day without fail? Every day without fail, I have some sort of chocolate bar, and it's just 1 a day, but that is my treat. So it'll be a chocolate bar is something that I always have. If I don't have a chocolate bar, I definitely do miss it. So I usually have that with a cup of tea. Another thing that I really like would be chips or fries, as you call it over in the USA, but yeah, in the UK it's chips. But I'm talking about a white potato, but I can't have that because my body doesn't like it. So yeah, that's life. It's destined that the thing that you really like, the taste of, I think lots of people like chips, but I really like chips, especially as I can't have them. And when you smell that smell, it's like, wow, I miss eating chips. But yeah, I think the last chips that I have now sweet potato fries, but yeah, the white potato fries I haven't had in I don't know, maybe 10 years, at least 10 years. So yeah, once I realized that that was causing a lot of my problems that I was going through, I realized it was just a reaction to this food that I was eating. Then yeah, obviously once I got rid of that, everything improved. So yeah, 2 foods that I adore, one that I can eat and one that I can't. So Sonali donated £30. Thank you for that. And that is a straight up donation without a message. And Deborah donated £20 as well. Thank you for that, Deborah. The message is, speaking of long versus short songs, my favourite long track is Coloratura by Coldplay. It takes us on a journey with the different twists and turns, such creative lyrics and a sweet guitar solo. Would love your take on this one someday. So thank you for that, Deborah. And I didn't scroll down while I was reading that, but there it is. So thank you for that, Deborah. And I mean, if that's a request, if you just write it in the comments section underneath pretty much any video, and if there's a link of a particular performance, I can stick it on that list and we can get it analysed at some point in the future. So thank you for that, Deborah. And I mean, I can add it to the list, but I mean, generally, yeah, people tend to give me a specific video that I can check out. So, right, let's jump into tonight's cover video. And it looks like it is going to be Behind Blue Eyes. That's at least what it said, about 60% of the vote. So I don't think that's going to be overturned in a split second. And I can see that, yeah, in that live chat room, it's about to go through as 60% for Behind Blue Eyes. So we are going to be jumping into this. Obviously, it's going to be my version of it. You're going to have to take my word for it because it's taking a little bit of time to go through that live chat room. Hopefully, it hasn't frozen, but it looks like we are now moving again, so it's all fine. Right, we'll jump into this. And yeah, we still have the pick roulette to get through as well as that picture that I mentioned. So hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys after this. I'm hoping that I'm going to click on the right button and that it all starts. So we will see. Rock.
No one knows what it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man behind blue eyes. No one knows what it's like to be hated, to be fated, to telling only lies. But my dreams, they aren't as empty as my conscience seems to be. I have hours all lonely. My love is vengeance, it's never free. Like to feel these feelings like I do, and I blame you. No one bites back as hard on their anger. None of my pain or woe can show through, but my dreams,
And there we have it. That was my version of Behind Blue Eyes. Oh, I did jump into that a little bit quickly because, I mean, it's 7 minutes past 1 here in the morning. So we are going to have to rush to wrap things up for tonight's live stream. I'm not going to do that yet because we're going to be jumping into the picture, then pick roulette. But yeah, thank you guys for voting for that particular cover tonight. I think at the end of that video, I do interrupt it anyway, to say thanks for watching the video. So I don't think we missed too much of the guitar solo at the end. I can't remember how long I went on for. But let's jump into tonight's picture. And like I mentioned before, we just have one picture. And this is Dawn, who is modelling the Wings of Pegasus zipped hoodie and the Wings of Pegasus tumbler. And I've just noticed that she's got a sword on her head. That's something I didn't notice before. So what I did see in, I think, the description of the post was that she was about to go to or do some belly dancing practice, or going to belly dancing practice. So that was, I'm not sure whether the sword is part of that. And yeah, I didn't notice that. And I don't know whether the sword is actually being balanced on the head or whether it's being attached to the head, because sometimes you can get these headbands that are things that people wear at Halloween or that kind of stuff, and you put it on your head and it looks like you've got an axe in your head or something. So anyway, let's not digress too much there. From the picture we have Dawn. So thank you, Dawn, for uploading that one, and thank you for linking me to that picture. And that was either Vince or Laura, I can't remember who linked me to this one, but thank you to everybody who does link me to the pictures, because Carla does that as well. But as long as they get to me, then yeah, I can get them on the live stream. And by the way, if you want to get involved over on Facebook, if you are a Facebook user, head over to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over there. That's where the pictures are uploaded. You can join in the conversation there. That's where a lot of the live chat room members hang out between live streams. So yeah, join that group, upload a picture of yourselves. If you've got any merchandise that you want to model, then yeah, feel free, take a picture, I'll show it on the live stream. So let's get back to normality. And oh, it looks like the camera's decided it wants to turn dark. We'll get into, I tell you what, let me see if I can do this thing, and then it makes it go bright again. It doesn't make it go bright, it just makes it look like it actually is in the room. So there we go, we are back. And now we're jumping into the pick roulette, so maybe I'll go dark after this, who knows. But let's jump into this, and I haven't picked a top tip yet. We'll do that in a second. See you guys after. Rock! So let's get the wheel up on screen, and there it is. If this is your first live stream, these darker segments are the t-shirts. If we land on one of those, somebody goes away with a custom-made signed Wings of Pegasus t-shirt. And if we land on somebody's name, they're going away with the signed Wings of Pegasus pick in the middle of the wheel. And as I said, I don't have a top tip for tonight, so I'm quickly looking into the live chat room, but we do have to be quick tonight. Okay, and we have D Emma 1972 says pick me, but I'm sure that Emma has been the top tip before. Get Some J, has Get Some J been the top pick? Well, he's yeah, actually reading it, I saw pick me, but Get Some J says don't pick me. So let me have a look. Okay, right, here we go. Alma Onyx is going to be the top tip for tonight. I don't know whether I've said that correctly or not, but here we go. Let me type that. Right. And let's give the wheel a spin and see who is going to win. Alma Onyx is the top tip for tonight. As I always say, we have a live stream on Tuesday nights. If you can join in there, that'd be great, but you can double your chances of winning by watching the pick roulette on a Tuesday. If we do hit the pick roulette likes goal, we have a pick roulette in the next week, regardless if it's a Tuesday live stream or a Saturday live stream, but we are slowing down. And can we see anywhere Alma Onyx? I can't see it anywhere. We are slowing down. Is it going to get as far as Fred? I do not know. And it's Sujol, who is the winner of tonight's signed Wings of Pegasus pick. So congratulations to you, and hopefully I said your name correctly. If you can let yourself be known to Carla in the live chat room, that would be great, so that she can organise everything with you to get that signed Wings of Pegasus pick sent off to you. Commiserations everybody else. There's always next time, next Saturday, because we have hit the Pick Roulette Likes goal, so we will be having a Pick Roulette on Saturday, so tune in then again, or get involved on Tuesdays, because if we hit that target on Tuesday, you can enter in for the next week's Pick Roulette. So anyway, yes, Sujol, congratulations to you, and commiserations to everybody else, including Alma Onyx, who was the top tip for tonight. But as I said, there's always next time. Right, now we are going to open up the entries for next week's Pick Roulette. So in order to get your name on next week's wheel, this is what you have to do. You type at Carla Murray in order to tag her in the post, and type I agree, exclamation mark, like that. And you'll be able to see that lots of people will go through the live chat room just posting or commenting what I've just done. You'll be able to see it go through. There it goes. So type I agree, tag Carla Murray in your post to get your name on next week's wheel. Right, it's 13 minutes past 1, and normally we have our fill jam. This is something that we do where we just load up a random backing track that Joe has sent me in a message, and I have the message over here. And are we on the last prog rock backing track? We might be. We've been through the jazz fusions, the prog styles. I think it might be the last one in that list. We've still got ballads and 80s hard rock to go. So obviously, I'm waiting to get to the 80s hard rock ones. But I did say I'm going to get through every single backing track, regardless of genre or what it's like. So let me click on this, and let me pause on that because there's an advert. Let me mute that. While the advert's going through, I'm just going to say that this is from Pat Matroni, his channel, and it is just Pat Matroni, and that's Pat Matrone, and the name of this track is Atmosphere Progressive Rock Backing Track / Guitar Jam in E minor. So it's in E minor. I think the last couple have been in E minor. Hopefully this is one that I've already done. It doesn't, well, no, it doesn't, from what I can see on the screen, it doesn't look like one we've done before, because it looks like we've got lots and lots of chords. We've got a verse, a pre-chorus, and a chorus. Okay, I'm not going to look at the chords because we like to just shoot from the hip and see what happens, and hopefully it's not a disaster. But we'll have a listen to this. And oh, hang on, we've got beats per minute is saying 126, but it's saying 7868. So let me just play this to see if we can hear it first of all. And I mean, this is a bit of an interlude for you guys to get your names on next week's Pick Roulette wheel. So do that while I'm playing. And so first of all, we're in 7/8 and then 6/8. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's how you count it out. If you want to count along, I'd suggest don't count along. If you're playing, you just want to kind of roll with it. But we'll see how we get on with this one. bit heavier here. We're actually in E major here, which is a bit of a different. I don't know. I think we're in E minor for all of the other ones, so yeah, a little bit more kind of happy, upbeat. Waiting for that bit where the chorus gets a little bit kind of heavy, more involved. Hey. I agree. Tag Carla Murray in your post or comment to get your name on next week's Pick Roulette Wheel. Hopefully you can hear this. I didn't even ask him that. Just assuming you guys can hear this. So hopefully you can. If not, never mind. Trying to see how long this is. Difficult to see with the picture underneath, but I think it's 9 minutes, so it's like 3 minutes left, something like that. So we'll keep on going and see what happens. waiting for the heavier part to come in. There it is. Okay, I think we've got maybe just over 1 minute left. So, everybody, get your name on next week's Pick Roulette wheel by typing I agree and tagging Carla Murray in your comments. But we're pretty much getting there with this, I think. I was about to finish there hoping that it was going to do a fade out, but it didn't. It just stopped instantly. So, let me stop that before that advert comes on. Right. Yeah, hopefully the levels are all right. I don't know. But thank you everybody for tuning in to tonight's live stream. And just before we do go, I am going to reference the donations that came through. I think probably during the Pick Roulette or something like that. And we had Orlando donated $5, so thank you for that, Orlando. The message was deleted in that particular donation, but thank you for that. Just making sure that I'm getting up to date with all of those. And yes, we're okay in the super chat window. And let me just have a look over on PayPal where there are a few in there. So Laura donated £10. So thank you for that, Laura. And the message is, love your analysis. It's not my birthday, with a smiley face. So thank you for that, Laura. Yeah, had a couple of birthdays tonight. But thank you as well to... And it says your money is on the way. So who is this? Okay, 289,000 subscribers. This is the message. Well done, and thank you for replying to my email regarding Smule. So thank you. This is, I think that's a site that I haven't used, but from what I remember, it's like the karaoke thing where you get to sing along with songs. Now, what I'm going to do is I don't know whether I can get this. Okay, right. I'm going to remove that on the screen just in case when I scroll down it says any account details or anything like that. And this is from Sophie. So thank you, Sophie, for that donation. Took a little bit of time to find the relevant. Here we go. And another donation from Sophie for £1.50. And it says, 289,000 subscribers. Well done. And thank you for replying to my email regarding Smule. There were a couple of actually, the first donation was telling me that I think it was on the way or something, and then it arrived. So thank you for that, Sophie. I could have just, skipped over all of that by going to the next donation, but I didn't know that it was going to be coming through from Sophie after that. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I'm going to be, endeavouring to get that video out tomorrow night with Phil Palmer. Make sure you are subscribed, hit that notification bell so that you get notified when not only that video is out, but all of the videos that I do record and release on the channel. So, huge thank you to the moderators as always. And I'm going to be live streaming again on Tuesday night. So, join me then if you do get a chance. Have a great rest of your weekend. And fingers crossed, I'll be here tomorrow night with that video. And try to stay as safe and as sane as humanly possible in this crazy world in which we live in, as I always say. But thank you for joining me, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!